Hello and welcome TNL enjoyers, I'm Better, and this is a guide on the new Halls of Illusion solo dungeon. The solo dungeon series are a new addition that released as part of the new Talandre update. It has the potential to drop some amazing level 2 purple weapons that will most likely be best in set for the majority of players. Unless of course you are lucky enough to get the arc boss weapon that you need, or maybe even better weapons that will be released in the future. But until then, these are going to be the weapons that you will most likely need. Now, looking here, we can see some of the items that this dungeon drops, as well as blue runes and 1 obsidian piece. If you gather 100 obsidian pieces, you will be able to build a black anvil weapon of your choice. This specific dungeon will be around for a whole week, but you can only claim the reward 3 times per week, as you can see here. Another thing to look at is the 5 different tiers in difficulty, as well as the effects of mobs, and finally, the minimum combat power needed to run the dungeon. Now that we have entered the dungeon, as you can see, I'm using the Liberator class. These are the skills I will be using along with it, and I have to say I do love this class because it has both great healing, mana, and damage to quickly deal with all that the dungeon has to throw at you. So, enough with the talk, let's jump right into the action. Interacting with the painting will take us here, to the first phase of the dungeon. The goal here is to kill all of the mobs without dying, which is pretty straightforward. The generous devs have also given us a choice of extra health, stamina, and movement speed to help us. Of course, I will be going for the extra health, as I'm far from great at this game and I will definitely need it. Now that you can finally start pulling some enemies your way, make sure that you do not pull all of them at once, as they will stun you and bind you in place and you will not be able to go anywhere. They will melt you pretty quick, I have to say. Here you can see that we have reached the first mechanic in the first phase. This is an important one, as you will have to roll dodge for this one. The way that this mechanic works is that if you kill an enemy, it has the chance of dropping a golden orb. This golden orb will eventually start moving towards the center of the map. Once it reaches the center, it will cause the mechanic to start up. But do be careful, because there are 2 rats that also just spawned, 1 terror rat and 1 toxic rat. The terror rat is arguably more scary, just because as you can see here, it feared me, it led me into a stun that eventually just got me killed. So you better watch for those sneaky rats. Once you manage to hack and slash through all of the enemies, go ahead and move on to the pretty painting, hit F, and you'll be able to move on to the next stage. Now that we're at the first boss, go ahead and pick the buff that you want. As you can see, the boss just spawned in a totem. This totem will usually spawn in a general direction, and it will start shooting slow red orbs at you. These orbs don't do a huge amount of damage, but once they hit you, they do enhance the damage that you do take for 10 seconds, so do beware. The boss will continue to spawn totems in the meantime, so keep dodging the orbs until the second boss mechanic arrives. Now, once he teleports, he will go straight into a fury attack, so make sure to dodge accordingly. The important thing here is that when he does a fury attack that you have to roll dodge, make sure to get in line with as many totems as possible, as fast as you can, then roll dodge the boss's laser attack. The goal is to get the boss's laser attack to take out multiple totems at the same time. The more the better. This is arguably the most important mechanic of this boss fight, because if there are too many totems, the boss will eventually one-shot you, which is not a very good time. This usually happens when there are more than 5 totems present while the boss does a special attack. Now, here's an example of the boss's special attack. This mechanic cannot be dodged and can only be survived by keeping the number of totems low. You can see that since there are only 3, it did not do much damage to me. Now that you got all the mechanics down, just keep on repeating the same thing until you kill the boss. In this area, just jump straight into the water, where the current will take you pretty quick. Be careful though, don't go too fast as there are spiky thorns in the water that will kill you eventually. While you're speeding through the water, you're going to have to take the first grapple up and then keep on swimming until the following grapple. Keep taking grapples until you get to the boss area. If you're not interested in learning the fastest way to each grapple, you can just go ahead and skip to the boss fight as this area is easy enough to navigate on your own, but just make sure you remember to drain the water by turning the water valve. Now, we're finally at the last boss of the dungeon, which is honestly easier than even the first boss. Once I start initiating the fight, in a few seconds he will start doing a charge attack at me. This charge attack doesn't do much damage and it will just knock you to the side. As he jumps up, all you have to do is jump as he lands back down. Next, watch out for his illusions that charge up at you and deal damage. Just keep moving, roll dodge, and watch your stamina. This here is Murdoch's third mechanic, where he will initiate by smashing his shield and charging a downward attack. This will cause bird cages to spawn above your head that will eventually drop and do damage to you, so all you have to do is stay away from under them. And there you have it. You now know all of Murdoch's main mechanics, so keep on dodging his charges, bird cages, and his friends, and you should be able to kill him in no time. And there you have it, folks. Tier 2 Halls of Illusion solo dungeon complete. If this helped you in any way, please don't hesitate to leave a like on this video, as it will help me and the channel grow. And don't forget to comment anything I might have missed. Farewell, and I will see you guys in the next one.